For this lower body mobility sequence, we are going to go through some functional range conditioning that's going to target specifically our hip external rotators and our hip internal rotators. We're going to go through a movement sequence called the 90-90 flip, which is what we're going to work towards eventually with a few static stretches that will require some isometric contraction and relaxation action before we get to that 90-90 flip. So without further ado, what we're going to start with is just simple controlled articular rotation. Our fire hydrants from here, we're going to be down on all fours. All you have to do is press play, follow along, and my one thing is if you do not feel comfortable doing a specific movement, something hurts, something doesn't feel right, then just stop, press pause, and send me a message if need be. With our controlled articular rotations, down on all fours, I'm going to have my knees together. I'm going to go right leg first. Everything is about slow and controlling each little segment, each little angle of range of motion. So I'm going to take my knee in to flexion, and then I'm going to bring it up into abduction, and then I'm going to externally rotate around. Little squeeze with some hip extension. That's one. We're going to go 5 on our right side, up, out, around, 2, and again, up, out, around, 3, good, up, out, around, 4, and one more, up, flexion, abduction, external rotation, extension. We're going to switch, go on the other side, same thing. Shoulders are locked in, hands are screwed into the floor, and I'm going to go flexion, abduction, external rotation, extension. That's 1, up, out, around, 2, up, out, around, 3, up, out, around, 4, and one more, up, out, around, 5, and voila. Now we're going to go into our 90-90 position. So you're going to be seated on the floor. The reason why it's called the 90-90 position, I have my front knee here at 90 degrees, and then I have my back knee here at 90 degrees, and then what I want to do is just hinge forward a little bit. So our external rotators are going to be glutes out on the side, and then our internal rotators are sitting right into the medial aspect of the hip. I'm going to lean forward, and I'm just going to take a few big breaths in, and breath out. Just kind of relax and set into the position. Breath in. Breath out. You want to feel that breath right into your stomach and perhaps even into your hip. Breath in. And breath out. And one more breath in. And breath out. Okay, now we're going to go into what's called a pales and rails contraction. So we're going to do isometric angular loading. First and foremost, we're going to start with our external rotators, and we're going to push our knee into the floor. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my front hand here and just place it below my ankle. And then what we're going to do with our progressive angular isometric loading is we're going to build up our contraction. So you don't want to go from 0 to 100, just driving your knee into the floor. You want to build it up 20, 40, 60, 80, 100%. We're going to hold it at that 100 for about 10 seconds, and then we're going to rest. So just follow my lead here. I'm starting to just slowly apply light pressure into the floor. I should feel this a little bit into my glute. I'm going to go 20, 40. Everything else is getting nice and tight. 60. Make sure you continue to take those big breaths. 80. And 100. We're going to push in nice and strong. I'm driving that front knee into the floor for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to think of pulling my knee into my chest. I'm going to get those internal rotators to activate. Same thing, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So I'm pulling in 20, 40, knee right into the chest. I'm not lifting. 60, 80, and you can apply a little bit of pressure into your hand. And 100, here we go. 10, 9, 8, nice and strong. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And just a little relaxation. Let's take a breath in. And a little breath out. Okay, we're going to sit up nice and tall. Now what we're going to do is we're going to perform what we call a kinetic rep. So with my kinetic rep, I'm going to hinge forward. As I'm hinging forward, I'm driving my knee into the floor as strongly as I can. So we're going to go 0 to 100 here as we hinge forward. And then I'm going to push that knee away from the floor and try and pull it into my chest as I lift back up. We're going to perform 3 kinetic reps. So follow my lead here, and I'm going to start to push into the floor. We're going to go down for 5, 4, push hard, 3, 2, 1. Lower back flat. Now I'm going to push away, pull my knee in, nice and strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go back down, push that knee into the floor, nice and strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Knee to chest, nice and strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's go one more. Push down nice and strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee comes to chest. Hold strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to switch to the other side, perform the exact same sequence. So same thing. Maybe I'll switch to this side, and I'm going to have my right leg in front here. Back leg, so we got 90, we got 90. From here, I'm going to lean forward. We're going to take about 4 big breaths. Breathe into the stomach. And breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. And one more breath in. And out. Okay, we got our tails and rails, progressive, angular, isometric loading. So we're gonna go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, driving that knee into the floor, and then same thing, we'll switch gears. We're gonna go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, driving that knee into our chest. So let's start. Big breath, everything else gets tight. I'm gonna screw my hands into the floor, and here we go. 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. Hold strong for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now knee comes into the chest, hold strong for 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Pull nice and tight, good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Little release. Breath in. Now we're going to go into those kinetic reps. With my kinetic rep, I'm going to start to push into the floor and drive down. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower back is still flat, and then we push away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to pull in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And now we're going to transition into our 90-90 flip, which is what we call an isometric movement path. So we're actually going to move through this whole sequence, but we want to be contracting, working as hard as we can to control each little range of motion as we go. And that's our isometric portion of the movement path. So I'm going to start down here. I have my hands behind me. You use them as much as you need to. And what we're going to start to do is, ideally, with this sequence, we want to try and pull our knees as far apart from each other as we possibly can. So external rotation, I'm coming up nice and slow. Lifting that left leg up. Good, driving. What you're gonna feel is a transition from your external rotators and then force driving into your internal rotator. So I'm just pivoting a little bit off this front big toe, and I'm gonna have to start to squeeze a little bit in my groin. I'm trying to contract, and again, this is where our knees try and come as far apart as we possibly can. Just squeezing nice and strong. Hands are behind me, holding and supporting. Good, and keep that chest nice and upright from here. I drive my knees as far wide apart as I possibly can get them, and then I'm going to start to lower my left knee as my right knee follows. I'm lowering it down to the floor. I'm going to place my right hand inside my right knee just to add a little bit of resistance and build up that isometric contraction. We're going nice and strong. Just a little bit of force, resisting, 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 resisting. Keep squeezing nice and tight. And we're going to come down, and that's one. Notice how we end up on the other side in our 90-90, hence 90-90 flip. Same thing, right knee's going to come up, driving nice and slow. Good, I'm going to start to pivot off that front toe, transition into my internal rotators. Make sure you keep breathing throughout. Knees nice and wide, nice and strong. I'm going to drive that right knee down as I try and keep my left knee up. And then my left knee is going to come in, squeezing and holding and down. Voila. Let's go for one more 90-90 flip. Driving with that left knee coming nice and high. Right, all the way up, squeezing. Good, going to transition. A little bit on the internal rotators, driving those knees out wide. Left knee comes down, right knee pinches in. A little bit of resistance against my right fingers. Down, voila, and then we're going to come back up. Right leg, driving nice and slow. We can also apply pressure to those external rotators. And then we're going to transition force internally. Staying nice and strong. Keeping that left knee out. Drive that right knee to the floor. And then the right knee comes in. Nice and strong. And voila. We're going to finish with going right back to where we started, our controlled articular rotations. And what I want you to do is as you perform them, just notice if you feel any difference in your hips. So again, we want to go controlled. And we're going to rotate all the way around. That's one, in, up, out, around, two. Definitely feel just a little bit more control and the ability to activate a little bit stronger through all ranges. In, out, up, four, and one more. In, out, up, five. And we'll switch sides. In, out, up, one. Good. In, out, up, two. Felt a couple cracks. Just gonna go a little bit slower through that range. Really try and activate much better. Three. In, out, up, around. Four. One more. Here we go. In, out, up, around. And voila, so that ends our kinetic stretching sequence for hip external rotators, internal rotators. We can make this sequence much more advanced by adding in new layers and new elements, but this is the foundation of really building on these two ranges of motion, ultimately helping to improve your hip health, which will also help to improve lower back and knee health. You can perform this sequence once, or you can repeat the sequence 2 or 3 times to get even that much more benefit out of it.